Welcome to God's Food for Thought. This week, we're going to be talking about the letters J-O-B, Jesus on board. Reminds me of Job and what he went through. Remember Jesus, when he was going through the storm with his disciples, something very serious happened there. And something very serious happened to Job. But Job had the faith in God that even though all that he went through, he always honored and confessed God. And we're going to look at that today and apply it to our own lives, that no matter what we're going through, Jesus is on board. And we're going to start and look at the account in the Gospel of Mark, chapter 4, verses 35 through 41. As evening came, Jesus said to his disciples, "Let's cross to the other side of the lake." So they took Jesus in the boat and started out, leaving the crowds behind, although other boats followed. But soon a fierce storm came up. High waves were breaking into the boat, and it began to fill with water. Jesus was sleeping in the back of the boat with his head on a cushion. And the disciples woke him up, shouting, "Teacher, don't you care that we're going to drown?" And when Jesus woke up, he rebuked the wind and said to the waves, "Silence, be still." Suddenly the wind stopped, and there was a great calm. And he asked them, "Why are you afraid? Do you still have no faith?" The disciples were absolutely terrified. "Who is this man?" they asked each other. "Even the wind and the waves obey him." Quite an account. Today we're going to look at the first three verses 35 through 37. Let's look at that again. As evening came, Jesus said to his disciples, "Let's cross to the other side of the lake." So, first of all, this is Jesus, his idea, to go across the lake in the boat. It's God's idea. Must be a good one. It's God's idea. So they took Jesus in the boat. So Jesus is with them. And they started out. And everything looking good, leaving the crowds behind, although other boats followed. But soon a fierce storm came up. High waves were breaking into the boat, and it began to fill with water. If we could put that in today's experiences, great. We are doing what Jesus called us to do, and look what's happening to us. It looks like he doesn't even care. He's not even paying attention. Jesus was sleeping in the boat. Sometimes when things are happening to us, "God, don't you even care? You're not sleeping, I know, but you're not really even caring to watch what we're going through when we're doing what you said to do." And some people would think, okay, here they are in this terrible predicament. Either Jesus is not really God, or Jesus doesn't care. Again, they are all experiencing something that's bad while trying to do something that's good. They're trying to do something that the Lord had told them to do. In these verses, we see ourselves many times. God calls us into a ministry, or God calls us to do something. He says, go talk to that person. And it seems like the result is not going to be good. We might even walk right into a storm. We might even walk into a place where our life is threatened. This is what's happening to them. The boat was going to sink. They're way out there. There's no 911. And they were absolutely terrified. But the truth is, J-O-B, Just as in Job, Jesus on board. Just as God was with Job in his trial, Jesus was with them. And we know that in the story of Job, it was Satan that was coming against Job, and that, he was given permission to go so far, and that was it. And that's that way. God always will have to give permission for the devil to try to even tempt us. But God uses adversity to really show where our heart is. You really know who your true friends are when you're really going through trouble and you really need help. That's when you will know. And it will really prove where our heart is. When you're going through difficulties, if you're not just blaming God, but you're trying to include God, realizing He's on board with you. Nehemiah chapter 8 verse 10 says, do not sorrow, for the joy of the Lord is your strength. You see, the happiness of the disciples had turned into terror. And happiness deals with the mental state of basically concerning physical things. Weather's good, I'm not being hassled, so I'm happy, happy, happy. Where joy, the joy of the Lord is our strength. Since God is spirit, joy is a spiritual thing. And joy will stay with you even if things are not happening the way you want. Happiness, for most people, depends on happenstance more than God being with them. We all react to difficulties, but for most, the surrounding difficulties absolutely dictate how they feel about themselves and how they feel about God. Those who are in God's presence, when trials surround them, still have the joy of the Lord. And that joy becomes their strength that will help them to be able to endure. We realize the happy ending during this trial, that Jesus had absolute control over climate, over all things. God, who created all things, has the final say. And you say, well, how scientifically could that happen? Well, God is the major one who invented all the science behind all the things that we encounter. And He has the first say, and He has the last say. So in a Job situation, remember Jesus on board. Remember Job and think, Jesus on board. God is with me. Jesus said, I'll never leave you. I'll never forsake you. That'll give you joy where happiness is not possible. The happenstance, the things happening to you are not making you happy, but the joy of the Lord will give me strength that comes from the Holy Spirit into my spirit, and absolutely gives me that peace beyond all understanding. Today, if you're going through it, remember Jesus on board. It worked for Job. It's going to work for all of us. Right now, we're going to sing a song entitled, God is the Strength of My Heart. He is my portion forever. May that be settled in your heart. Whether you're going through good weather or going through the storm, Jesus on board. God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow.
Whom have I in heaven but you? There is nothing on earth I desire besides you. My heart and my strength, many times they fail. desire besides you.